Okay, you're looking to buy your first dirt bike and you're considering buying a bike with a clutch. This video will give you the basics of how to operate your motorcycle using your clutch. One of the more difficult things for a beginner to learn how to use on a motorcycle is a clutch. So what a clutch does, it allows you to basically shift through the gears. So this particular bike has a 4-speed transmission. So to shift from first to second to third to fourth, you ultimately have to use both the clutch and the shift lever, okay? So in doing so, it takes some practice. I'm not going to kid you. This does take some practice. Probably one of the more difficult things to learn how to do. But if you give yourself time, if you have a nice open area like this to ride in and you practice it, you will master it. And once you learn how to use the clutch, it's the greatest component or part of the dirt bike. One other thing to think about with the clutch is when you pull the clutch in, you want to make sure that you do it with your whole hand. Once you become more advanced, a lot of people will just use 1 or 2 fingers, but when you start, you want to make sure that you use your whole hand. So you pull the clutch in all the way, you let it out all the way. The difference between using your whole hand to pull the clutch in as opposed to using 2 fingers is that if you use 2 fingers, you're only going to get really half the clutch throw because your other 2 fingers are going to be in the way. Clutch adjustment is key. So you want to make sure that you have a little bit of play in your clutch. So that way, when you go to pull the clutch in, you want to have a little bit of play before you actually feel the clutch disengaging. So that way, your clutch isn't dragging or slipping and the transmission is working properly. So like on this Denago MX3, you have several different ways to adjust the clutch. You have a quick adjustment here, right at the lever, and you also have an adjustment here on the cable. So make sure that you have a little bit of play so your clutch is able to work properly. The clutch engages and disengages the transmission, so if you pull the clutch in, no matter how much throttle you give it, you're not going to go anywhere. There's a specific way to use the throttle and the clutch and to get the best results out of your motorcycle. So the way you want to do this is you want to be very gentle with the throttle and with the clutch. So ultimately you give it a little bit of throttle to get going and you let the clutch out slowly. When you get ready to shift into the next gear, back off the throttle a little bit, pull the clutch in, shift it to the next gear, let the clutch out gently and give it more gas. This may seem complicated, but realistically once you do it and practice a little bit, it'll become second nature. One of the other things to think about is when you're starting your bike, it's typically way easier to start your bike when it's in neutral. So like on this bike, I'm going to shift all the way down. I'm going to make sure that I've got the start-stop switch in the start position, and I'm going to kick it, and there we go. Now to get going, I'm going to need to pull the clutch in, and I'm going to need to put it into first gear, and then give it gas and let the clutch out, and off I go.
Let's go. I was born to kill it. I was meant to win. I am down and willing, so I will.